Good morning. Week, the Experience New Jersey team's new podcast. Our guest today is Sandi Goodman. Good morning, Sandi.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
So we love to showcase local business owners, of which you are one. I believe that you and I met probably through a local Maplewood Chamber meeting many moons ago. Maybe even 7 or 8 years ago. So we have been, both living and working in the, Midtown Direct corridor.
Mm-hmm.
But you are not originally from New Jersey. I was hoping you could kind of tell us where you're from originally.
Sure. Uptown Manhattan in an area called Inwood. Lived right across the street from Inwood Park, which was like my big backyard. I thought it was really mine. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, it was really a great place to just, grow up and be very, very close to Midtown Manhattan. So that was really.
Did you make it out to the suburbs of New Jersey?
So back in the 80s, I wound up meeting Monica, who is now my spouse for many, many years, as you know. And she's originally from New Jersey, and she wanted to move back to New Jersey. She was at Sarah Lawrence up in Westchester. And my first response was, of course, over my dead body, because from New York, that's what you say when someone suggests moving anywhere other than New York City.
Okay, but so I won't. Sandi, I have to chime in here because I have told that same story many times about my husband at the time when we were living in the city. And that's exactly what I said. And I'm not a native New Yorker, so that was not even in my vocabulary.
Right.
But apparently it was, because that is the first thing I said to him about moving to New Jersey.
Right, exactly. So, short end of the story is I'm now in New Jersey way longer than I've ever lived in New York. But, I still consider myself a New Yorker at heart.
Yeah.
But here I am, and we've been in Maplewood, South Orange since '96. So okay. I think I met you pretty early on. I don't remember exactly what year, but I feel like you've been somewhere in my circumference for many, many years.
Yes. So I moved here probably just a decade after you. And, it's funny that was our gut reaction. And then here we are, loving living in the burbs of New Jersey and all that it has to offer. And these wonderful little towns, which are really, really lively and full of entrepreneurs, as you know, from our time at the Chamber. So you actually have quite a story. You didn't, what you're doing now in the Homeowners Hub, which we're going to get into shortly, you kind of had an entrepreneurial journey to get you there. And I know you mentioned that you had started off in financial services. Why don't you give us kind of a quick synopsis of your professional journey to this point and starting Homeowners Hub?
Okay, quite simply. I got my master's degree from Brandeis in, of all things, social work, and worked in that profession for about a year until it dawned on me that I'm just not going to be able to make any money, at least as much money as I wanted to, and quickly switched into getting trained to work on Wall Street. So I spent ultimately about close to 20 years working in financial services, between working for mutual fund companies, banks, and insurance companies, selling various different types of securities and financial investment for customers. So I basically was in financial sales. Monica, my spouse, simultaneously got an opportunity to enter the IBEW apprenticeship program because they were looking for minorities to fill their requirements from the government point of view. So she was trained as an electrician, and ultimately she had an MBA also from Rutgers, and decided between those two skill sets she wanted to start a business. So we actually started a small business called MGM Properties. And MGM Properties just bought small homes and Monica could do the electrical work, and we refurbished them, rented them out, and sold them ultimately, and did that for a while until one day, literally, the IBEW of New Jersey came knocking on Monica's door saying that we want you to be a union contractor because we don't have any female union contractors, and we need to fulfill our minority quota requirements. So that totally pivoted us into working as electrical contractors for the state of New Jersey, which was, beyond a learning experience. That's a whole other podcast.
Yes,
which
yes.
I don't want to take the time up for that. But
sure.
it threw us into a whole world of, working as a union contractor, hiring union employees, having to deal with all kinds of union-related issues. And then ultimately, we hit kind of a brick wall in 2008, 2009, when the financial markets collapsed, and a lot of large jobs were just not being, pursued. So then we just pivoted to doing electrical work for residential customers, because we were already doing that for the government. Why not just continue, doing that for residential homeowners in the state of New Jersey, and especially local, Maplewood, Soma area. And out of the residential electrical contracting business, the idea of Homeowners Hub was born. That's kind of how we got from there to here very quickly.
Yeah. And
there were many ups and downs along the way, trust me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been in real estate for 15 years and growing, a team. And so the entrepreneurial journey to me, is all about the ups and downs. You aren't an entrepreneur if you haven't had any
right.
failures, because that's part of the journey, and you learn and you move on.
Correct.
But I love that, you guys kind of reinvented yourselves as
yes.
These opportunities came up.
Yes.
And so I'd love for you to kind of, give us a picture. I mean, I know that Homeowners Hub is kind of like a concierge home services company. But why don't you give us some details? Most companies are born out of a need or a lack of something. And I think that you kind of created this because homeowners were having a hard time coordinating repairs. And it was just a nightmare to deal with, different vendors. And it always seems as though, businesses are born out of, a need or a lack of something, and having somebody provide the solution for that. And I think that you saw that, homeowners in New Jersey were struggling with, coordinating services and repairs and vetting contractors, and you saw an opportunity to create the Homeowners Hub. So tell us a bit about that and what it's become.
Sure, thanks. So basically, we were dispatching electricians for many, many, many years. And people would always come back to us and say, hey, I love you guys as electricians, but today I need a plumber, or I need a roofer, or I need a fill-in-the-blanker. And we knew a lot of people. We were in the trades, so we knew other tradespeople, and we would always recommend good quality tradespeople. And then slowly I kept hearing back from the customers that we tried reaching out to your recommendation, and he never called back. Mm-hmm. Or he did call back, but never showed up. Mm-hmm. Or the worst is that he actually did show up and gave us an estimate, and we want to do the work, and he disappeared. Yep. So, that happens. But anyway, so basically we realized that there was a problem that needed to be solved. And we figured the easiest way to solve that problem is for us to start dispatching. And that's what we did. We started with plumbers, HVAC, and we were the electricians, which are the three basic, systems of any house, and realized that people just loved that. They loved the convenience of reaching out to us for those particular trades. And everybody, got their service provided. They were happy with the work. They paid us. We paid the tradesperson. And I think we beta tested that idea for about a year. And a year later, we just said, well, let's blow the doors off of this idea and bring everybody in. So slowly over the past 6.5 years, we now have contractors across all, trade silos. We have technology backing us up, absolutely. But most people text in their requests. Once they sign up to subscribe, they text in their request, and we automatically dispatch the right person for whatever needs to be done. We assign a customer advocate, a person to each dispatch. So there's always a human being involved in each job in case customers have questions, they need to change schedules, they have concerns that need to be addressed, and they don't feel that the tradesperson is understanding them. So we intervene on their behalf. And we make sure that the work gets properly done to their satisfaction. And at the end of the day, they pay us and we pay the tradesperson. And it's a cycle that just keeps repeating. So we've been pretty local for the past 6 years to maybe 4 or 5 zip codes. But in the meantime, we're looking to grow. We're actually in growth mode at this moment. Homeowners Hub was invited into the new chip accelerator out of Austin, Texas, which really was a big surprise. And I've been in the program now for about almost 2 months. And learning how to scale a small business is a big lift. It's a tremendous lift. But I'm meeting a lot of people that I would never, ever have met.
So congratulations on being accepted in the accelerator. That's always exciting. And it's nice to see that, people recognize that you have a good business idea and want to help you grow it and scale it. So what does scaling it in New Jersey look like for you? And are you going to scale in New Jersey and then the Northeast? Kind of walk us through your goals here and your vision.
Yeah, so I think scaling initially would be extending the service out to adjacent towns, fairly close to where we are currently, and then ultimately throughout New Jersey. We're pretty much capable of handling most of northern New Jersey at this moment in time. It's just that most people don't know of us. So there would be quite a bit of marketing, requirement in order to get our name out there. But most of our customers come through us through word of mouth. Yep. Basically, once somebody is happy with the work that's being done, they recommend us to their friends, neighbors, and that's how we acquire new customers. But I'm thinking of other ways to market Homeowners Hub, either through realtors or through other sources of other professionals who are in the real estate industry, and see if there's some synergy there. I think there could be.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm really excited to announce that you are one of our sponsors for the Quest conference. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a great opportunity to, to mingle and network with 200 of my closest colleagues here in this tri-state area, right, on October 1st. So we're excited that you're taking part in that, because I think that grassroots, sometimes word of mouth and grassroots is the best way to get the word out. And I think for me, knowing that you are local creates a real comfort level with recommending you to clients, because there are a lot of services that, like Angie's List and things like that online, that you don't know who you're talking to, how they're vetted. There's no consumer advocate. So I really commend you for, this is a very labor intensive process. And so we want to help support you in any way that we can, in delivering that kind of service, because I think, people are busy with their lives working. People are starting to commute back to the city now. They're not always home, being able to wait for the plumber or the electrician. So, having somebody to kind of oversee that process and coordinate that process is really important.
Absolutely. And I'm actually glad that you mentioned, the Angies of the world, because basically they are, from my point of view, a digital Yellow Pages. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of type in your zip code and put in what you're looking for, and you may get 20 to 30 options to pick and choose from. And then you still have to decide who you want to work with. At the end of the day, they're not making that decision for you. It's still in the homeowner's lap. Sometimes they don't choose well, and often that leads to frustration, loss of time, loss of money, and then they're still left with the problem at the end of the day. So with Homeowners Hub, one of the things that we guarantee actually is that the homeowner has to be happy with the work, otherwise they actually don't pay us. And that's something that you will not find almost in any other situation. Tradespeople at the end of the day will not leave until they're paid. So, and then you find out, maybe 24 hours later that your problem has returned, or maybe it was just never repaired to begin with.
Right.
So, yeah. So we give the homeowner 48 hours to confirm satisfaction, and then they pay us direct via credit card. Also, a subscription, an annual subscription, will actually provide one free service. So
why don't you walk us through kind of, if somebody wanted to sign up, what does that look like? They go to your website and they get a monthly subscription or an annual subscription. Walk us through what that looks like and what your price is.
Sure. So the website is Hub Your Home, HUBYOURHOME.com. And there is an area where you can sign up as a monthly subscriber at $9.95 a month, or an annual subscriber at $119 a year. And the annual subscription will actually get you one free maintenance. So they can pick between, a summer AC maintenance, a winter maintenance, a dryer vent cleaning, and a hot water heater boiler maintenance. So basically they can choose what they want to have as their free service, and we will offer that every single year as long as they maintain their membership. We're actually, and this is, you're the first person to actually hear this. Breaking news. I just had a meeting earlier this morning with another partner. We're thinking of bringing out another subscription level that will include 5 maintenances a year at a fixed price, and that would be almost like half the price of having to purchase each one of those individual maintenances annually. So packaging 5 different maintenances together for one fixed price a year. And these are basic things that people really ought to be doing on an annual basis to make sure their home is running safely and they're comfortable. Often people just don't do the maintenance side of, the responsibility of home ownership. They wait for things to break down, and then it's just more fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I might fall into that category. I might need Homeowners Hub, Sandi.
Yeah. Happy to help if we can.
Yes.
So that's basically it. Our mission is to make sure people are comfortable and happy in their homes. Their homes should be their sanctuary, not their albatross. We also make sure that their homes, which are often the most valuable asset in their portfolio, financial portfolio, appreciates in value and does not depreciate because it's of neglect. So these are all things. That's it in a nutshell of what we offer. We are definitely looking to scale throughout New Jersey, ultimately, regionally, and maybe ultimately, coast to coast. We do also have a partnership with PC Richards Wholesale. In case anybody is looking for appliances out there, kitchen or laundry appliances, we have the ability to purchase them at wholesale pricing. This is better than even the retail pricing at a discount, which you may see on, any PC Richards website. We can even provide them at a less expensive price.
It's a great perk. Yeah. It's a great. Well, Sandi, thank you so much for the overview. We look forward to helping promote Homeowners Hub throughout New Jersey for you.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you on October 1st at the conference and help spread the word. And we will be in touch with you next week with the links to the blog and to the podcast, so we can share this episode with everyone that we know.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. I really appreciate the opportunity.